Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this is this week's gaming headlines. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Paramount is planning spin-offs for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, because apparently the studio saw Shadow the Hedgehog, a literal gun-wielding emo rodent, and thought, you know what this children's franchise needs? More PTSD. At this point, Sonic's cinematic universe has more trauma in it than a Catholic confessional. Nintendo's Alarmo clock has hit #1 on Amazon's wall clock charts. Because nothing says wake up and smell the coffee like a $200 clock that plays Mario sound effects. It's like if your alarm clock had a midlife crisis and started a podcast about its feelings. Palworld's developers are firing back at Nintendo's lawsuit, claiming it's legally invalid, which is bold coming from a studio whose game looks like Pokemon if Pikachu joined a militia. At this rate, the trial's just going to be a courtroom PowerPoint of spot the difference slides and a judge wondering why a sheep has a rocket launcher. Nintendo's Switch 2 Pro controller charges nearly twice as fast as its predecessor, which is great news for anyone who wants to spend less time waiting for their controller to charge and more time avoiding the inevitable drift. At this rate, the only thing charging faster than the Pro controller is Nintendo's lawyers drafting cease and desist letters for every indie game that lets you catch creatures and arm them with guns. Game Freak got hacked this week, leaking Pokemon source code and top secret Nintendo information. So, if your Bulbasaur suddenly knows how to commit tax fraud, now you know why. Nintendo's response? Shock, outrage, and probably a new evolution. Litigation issue. Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa teased, stay tuned for Mario and more on Switch 2. Meanwhile, PlayStation hasn't had a first-party game since summer of 2024. Guess Sony's next big release is a coming soon button on their controller. At least it's exclusive to disappoint you. Phil Spencer says Xbox games are coming to Switch 2. So finally, Nintendo fans can experience what disappointment looks like in 4K. It's cute. Xbox figured if they can't sell consoles, maybe Nintendo and Sony can sell the games for them. And finally, Sony just raised the price of the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Plus subscription, because apparently inflation is the only exclusive they're working on. At this point, owning a PlayStation isn't a hobby. It's a financial commitment with worse benefits than a gym membership. Meanwhile, Xbox is giving away their games on Game Pass, and Nintendo's inventing magnetic Joy-Con controllers with mouse controls. And Sony's just out here charging more for the same menu and calling it prestige. Now, those are the big headlines for the week thus far. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is there something that I'm missing? Please like, share, subscribe. We do appreciate that. And as always, I just want to thank you guys for joining me here on Star Flag Media Gaming Headlines.